Right, so now I'd like to talk about our teaching method at Inforum Education. So here at Inforum Education, we take the PPP teaching method. This is a great method because it involves presentation, forming context, then it goes on to practice through different activities, which then looks at accuracy. And it goes on to production, which then means that the students are able to become fluent using the target language given. So we find that this is the best method here because it fosters comprehension, it enables the students to retain the information that they're given, then they can apply the new applications by leading to a deeper understanding and becoming more confident through their language acquisition. Additionally, it provides active engagement and they're able to enhance their learning outcomes through relating their learning and using their learning in real life situations within the community and within their work. So, how does the PPP apply to Inforum's classrooms? As I said before, the teacher introduces the new target language or introduces the concepts. This is when the students can learn grammar, learn the language, and the teacher can check to see what the students know and what they don't know. We then move on to practice, the second stage. So this is done through structured practice activities to build their proficiency. This is where they can, while receiving some limited assistance with the teacher, they're able to rehearse and the teacher can fill their gaps. This could be done through listening activities, speaking activities, writing activities, etc. So the teacher, through the guided application and practice time, the teacher will check on the students and make sure they are not making too many errors. The teacher will then gradually release the responsibility onto the students and reinforce their learning by checking, concept checking, making sure they're on point with their language. The teacher will then go into the third stage and they will sequence the activities to scaffold the learning. This is the production time. We make the production activities quite flexible to adapt to the different types of learning and the diverse type of students that are in the classroom. And then we use creative production tasks. For example, it could be a role play, it could be a presentation, it could be a written activity, for example, an email or a letter. So what does this look like in another way? So at Inforum, we have a very unique and great project that we've set up that each level has to do, and it's called a focus lesson. So for example, this is a focus lesson. We have a group of students who are given an example of a task to do. The student will then help them with the target language, the vocabulary and the grammar to use, and present it to them. Then the students will work together and practice their language together by trying to form the project within their group. Usually this group is given different parts of the project to work on, and that's when they're released into their own time. Then they come together and they will form a whole presentation together, which the class and the teachers will watch together and give constructive criticism at the end. Okay, so now I'd like to talk about progress tracking at Inforum Education. So we believe progress tracking is very important for our students as it identifies early challenges that the students may be having. We also get time to give the students one-on-one feedback and they're able to look at their whole student profile with the teacher. This creates motivation for the student to try harder, to get better, or to see some good results, and they can see themselves moving up in the level of English. They also are accountable for what they are doing in school, in the classroom, and studying. So if they need to do more study, they usually will focus and set their mind on doing a bit more study to improve these results that they're shown. It also prepares them for the real world because it gives them exam conditions. A mock exam is mocking the real exam, the real Cambridge test or the real IELTS test. And it also enhances their learning retention. It gives them skills and they're able to remember those skills and reuse those skills in other exams they may come across in the future. These progress tracking marks are very measurable because they compare results from the practice tests, as I'll show you in a minute, to the final tests. And it allows the student and the teacher to see how much they have improved or what they need to improve through the duration of the whole course, because it's done every 3 weeks as a practice test and 6 weeks as a progress test. So here is an example of the practice test. So this is a PET test. So you can see pre-intermediate PET test, week 3. They do a few of the skills, reading, writing and listening, but not the speaking. And this is where it's kind of a mock test. However, the teacher does teach the skills and shows the students how they need to approach the test to be successful in reading, writing and listening. After doing the practice and the students seeing their results, they're able to move on to the week 6 test, where they do a few more skills. For example, they will do a speaking section of the exam. So this is the real live test where it's mocked. The students are in test conditions and everything is marked by the teacher. So you can see the reading 21 points went up to 24 points, and now the student is in green, and now the student is passing the PET test. Okay, and over here 18, the student did really well and they are also passing the PET test. It will come up in red if they stay the same or they need to continue to improve in that part of the test. And again, the feedback's given one-on-one to the student, and the student can see what they're good at and what they need to work more on. Okay, so another thing that's very important at Inform Education is our professional development with our staff. We give a lot of professional development, and we get the idea from getting student progress feedback. Okay, so what the students want or what students need, we try to then develop those areas so the teachers become stronger at teaching that part to the student. It also provides us with supporting student well-being and mental health. Okay, so we don't only look at their academics, we also look at their physical and mental well-being. We also do PDs about identifying learners with learning differences or difficulties and how to then approach these kind of learners at the school. We also teach things as simple as a phonetic chart, because that's what they really need when they're at lower levels, beginner or elementary level. And then we do a lot of engaging vocabulary learning as well. So the teachers, their whole overall professional development is very holistic and well-rounded to make the school a better place, but also the students better students and language learners. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope to see you very soon at Inform Education Australia. Bye.